I was a very successful real estate agent in Ontario, Canada for over 6 years. When I finished the schooling and got my license, I was 5 months pregnant, a single pregnant woman living in her parents' loft. I was the happiest, most glowing pregnant woman you'd ever meet. I was a go-getter and wanted to learn and take in all the information I could to be the most successful realtor. So at 5 months pregnant, just getting my real estate license, I met some of the most successful realtors in the area, and they started giving me open houses and showings, and they really cared about my progress and success. I would go to all the meetings, I would go to all the seminars, all the conferences. I was happy, extremely happy. And this feeling that I had never fully connected with before, also probably due to the fact that I was sober because I was pregnant. So I was sober, pregnant, single, just starting a career, and nothing could stop me. I even got up enough courage to go door knocking. And I remember the first time that I was going to go and knock on some doors, I almost talked myself out of it. It was a day like today, bluebird skies, sunshine. It was beautiful. It would have been probably May, April or May. So I got my license early April. So I almost talked myself out of it. I was like, well, I have this to do and I could do this and I can just come back tomorrow, and I was kicked my ass out the door. And I was like, what's the worst that could happen? Well, the worst that could happen happened on the first door that I knocked on, and I got the door slammed in my face. And I thought, well, that's out of the way now, so, and I went on and I actually gained potential clients who were B-list, like they weren't ready to sell, but they kept in contact because I provided them information each year. I became top producer 2 years later. I was almost top producer the year after that. A few more years go by and I was top producer again. I'd say 95% of my business was repeat and referral. I truly, genuinely cared about my clients, which gained the trust and respect that I needed because they trusted my professionalism. I would talk clients out of a sale if I knew that it wasn't for them. I have worked in new home construction. I've worked in renovations. I've been a property manager. I would know what to look at in a home prior to my buyer submitting an offer. I would be able to pinpoint certain things that a seller should do prior to us listing their home. I would save them hassle down the line. And so my clients respected me. It came up when I was 4 years in the business, and I had a listing. She was a mother of a family who I played baseball with, and we got along great. In this recollection, I will state daughter 1 and daughter 2. Daughter 1 was involved in all the communication. Daughter 1 was there for all the meetings. I even spoke with her outside of her mom being there at times because her health was deteriorating and she was going to be moving in with daughter 1. They were building a suite for her. So what ended up happening throughout the listing was my client fell down the stairs. And she was a smoker, so I wanted to help. I've always wanted to help people more than I should, although I genuinely want to help. So I tried to think of something that could help her get the house sold so she could get into her daughter's house. And she did not want to agree to a price reduction. Because of her fall down the stairs, she didn't want to leave her home, so we had to put off showings for a few weeks so her family would come over and take care of her. So I went and met with daughter 1 at her home, and I spoke to her and I said, look, if I can get this sold for you, can your mom move in sooner? Like, how long is it going to take for the suite to be ready? I really wanted to get her in a safe place. I'd known the family for a few years, thought we were all kosher. And so I wasn't quite ready to purchase a second property, although it was appealing to me for many factors: the location, the yard, the potential of turning the structure into a duplex. And so the listing expired. She didn't want to relist. She didn't want to do price reduction. She wanted to sit with it for a little bit and see what she thought. Stubborn SOB. I thought I was stubborn. And so I talked to the man that I was dating at the time, and I put together an agreement to purchase. My seller and daughter 1, and we all spoke about it all, and I wasn't really saving myself any money. I was saving her money by not having high realtor fees. I was offering close to what she had it on the market for, and agreed to buy it so that she could move forward. She didn't have to put up with any other showings, and it was potentially a good investment for me in the future. So we had agreed on a closing date. The closing date came and their lawyer asked to extend the closing date. We weren't sure why at the time. I had already scheduled for movers to come and move us. It was just before Christmas. So I went and discussed this with my seller and daughter 1. And I said, well, if we are delayed on closing, you want to be with your family for Christmas, your family wants you there so they can take care of you. I have my movers scheduled, so if you're okay with it, we can just move in. In the meantime, I will cover the utility costs and rent. It seemed like a good deal for everybody all around, and everyone was keen on closing. So then it came up, the next closing date, there was an issue on title. So the issue on title was a portion of the property, just the back corner, was in her name, but also in the neighbor's name. And this had happened when the right-of-way at the back of the property was sold off to the surrounding properties because it was no longer used as a right of way. So this was back in like the 80s when they had done this. Well, a small portion of her portion was sold to my seller. The neighboring property had attempted to purchase this, or when they purchased their property, for some reason that portion went into their name also, so it was in her name and the neighbor's name. So it's a disputed parcel now. I was not willing to close and myself having to pay legal fees in order to clear it up. So we agreed to, let's figure this out so that we can close the property. Well, this went on for over 3 months. 3 months, and there was a point where my seller wanted to fire her lawyer. She was so sick of how he was treating the situation. I had gone and met with her several times. There was one of our when you amend an agreement of purchase and sale to alter the closing date, the other party needs to agree. So the date that we gave them to agree to one of our counters, one of our amendments, was 5 o'clock on a Friday. They didn't respond by 5 o'clock. Then the whole weekend goes, and I went and met with my client. She wanted to fire him. I told her, look, let the deal die. We can go to my lawyer. I will help you to get this situated off of the title. Then we will do up a new agreement of purchase and sale and close it clear. With a clear title, there's no more issue. She agreed to that. Monday, they sent us another amendment, which the deal had already died. My client said that her lawyer convinced her to keep going, so in good faith, I trusted that they were going to clear it off title. In the end, her lawyer said to me, just accept the property as it is and we will try and clear it off, and if it doesn't clear, then you just take the property. I said, I'm done. It's been 3 months. You guys are not cooperative. You have not cleared it off the title. You are not even taking my advice at all anymore, where we will clear it off the title with my lawyer. So I backed out of the deal, which I would have advised any one of my clients. Well, daughter number 2, who had never been involved in any of this, decided to file a claim against me, although the property ended up selling maybe 2 months later for the same price that I was giving her. So she was not out any money. She sold the property still. Me moving in, I actually cleaned the property up for her as she left a bunch of stuff in there. So her daughter filed a claim against me. I had all of my documentation. All of our communication was text, email, and then when I had gone and met with them, I'd always follow up in an email, so everything was documented. Well, the department of the real estate council couldn't decide who to side with, so they sent it to their legal department. 2 years, 2.5 years goes by. 2.5 years. And their legal department decides to claim that I was abusing an elderly client. I had been so put off by the whole situation that 1 week prior to getting that email, I had already given up my real estate license. I didn't want to deal with the corrupt area of it any longer. I could have taken them all to court. I could still take them all to court because I also have new information now, because when they sold, they actually pushed the property off without disclosing the issue on title. Their lawyer closed it. That buyer went to resell and found the issue on title. The real estate council, daughter number 2, all in agreement with violence against realtors. There are so many reasons why people don't trust realtors, don't trust the system, don't trust people in general. And this is exactly one of the reasons why. I've potentially lost $300,000 in commissions due to daughter number 2 having a hate towards me because she wanted money as an early inheritance, because she was jealous of my success, whatever her reasoning was, and then the real estate council siding with her, and my client and daughter 1 not speaking up or doing anything about it. So for me to still be able to stand strong, not having my profession anymore, my career, which allowed me to have my home as a single mother, and this being the year of karma. So whether I wanted to sue everybody or whether I wanted to let God take care of them, because I've never wished ill on anyone. I have never had ill intentions or thoughts towards anyone, even if they did that kind of shit to me. I live my life. I live my life. Live yours. Leave me the fuck alone. Blessings to you all.